Malachi, a figure shrouded in both mystery and power, stands as the last of the Old Testament prophets. His message was a resounding call for the people of Israel to return to a covenant relationship with God, urging them to live with integrity, faith, and justice. Little is known about the man behind the prophecy, but what is undeniable is his impact. He is not only a voice crying out against spiritual complacency, but also a prophet whose words are sharp with conviction and purpose. For men today, Malachi offers a challenge to live with courage, conviction, and dedication to truth, no matter the circumstances. Malachi's name: a messenger with a mission. The name Malachi itself is significant. In Hebrew, Malachi means "my messenger." This isn't just a title. It encapsulates his entire mission. Malachi was God's chosen vessel to deliver a message that would shake the foundations of the Jewish people. At a time when the people had grown spiritually lax, Malachi's words served as a wake-up call, much like the kind of unflinching truth men must deliver when standing against societal decline or moral corruption. His name alone serves as a reminder of the responsibility every man has to speak truth and uphold justice, even when it's unpopular. The historical context: a nation in moral decline. Malachi's ministry took place during a time of spiritual apathy, likely around the 5th century BC, after the Jews had returned from exile in Babylon. The temple had been rebuilt, and the sacrificial system was reinstated, but something was still missing. The people's hearts were far from God. Corruption, half-hearted worship, and societal injustices were rampant. It was a time when priests were failing in their duties, and the people's faith had become a mere formality. Malachi confronted these issues head-on, embodying the boldness that men are often called to demonstrate. Just as Malachi wasn't afraid to challenge the people and the religious leaders of his day, men today should not be afraid to challenge moral decay and stand firm in the face of corruption. His life and message serve as a reminder that true strength is found not just in physical power, but in spiritual integrity and the courage to speak the truth. A prophet of accountability, calling out spiritual laziness. One of Malachi's most direct challenges was aimed at the spiritual leaders of his day. The priests were offering blemished sacrifices, unworthy gifts that disrespected the holiness of God. Malachi didn't mince words when he rebuked them, accusing them of despising God's name. He called out not just their actions but their intentions, pointing out that they were giving less than their best, both to God and to the people they served. For modern men, this is a powerful lesson in accountability. Whether in leadership positions, relationships, or careers, the call is to give our best, to uphold our commitments, and to serve with integrity. Just as Malachi challenged the priests, we are challenged to live lives of excellence and honor. This isn't about perfection, but about dedication to doing what is right, even when it's difficult. The masculine call to justice. Malachi also addressed the issue of injustice, particularly concerning how the people treated one another. In Malachi 3-5, God, through Malachi, denounces those who oppress the vulnerable widows, orphans, and foreigners, and those who deny justice to the powerless. This was not merely a social critique, but a spiritual one. A true man, according to Malachi's standard, is someone who upholds justice and protects the vulnerable. In today's world, this call is as relevant as ever. Men are called to be protectors, not just of their families but of their communities and society. Standing up for justice isn't a passive task but one that requires action. Malachi's words remind men of their duty to defend the oppressed and ensure that fairness and righteousness prevail, both in personal life and in society at large. The family man, a call to faithfulness. One of the most direct issues Malachi addressed was marital unfaithfulness. He was uncompromising in his rebuke of men who had abandoned the wives of their youth for foreign women, a clear violation of God's covenant. He emphasizes that God is a witness to the marriage covenant, and breaking that covenant is not just a sin against one's spouse, but against God himself. For modern men, Malachi's words offer a powerful call to faithfulness, not just in marriage, but in all relationships. A man's word should be his bond, and trust should be a cornerstone of his character. Faithfulness is about consistency, honor, and integrity, qualities that define true masculinity. Just as Malachi challenged the men of his day to honor their commitments, men today must uphold their vows, both in marriage and in life. The refiner's fire, a purging of impurities. One of the most powerful images in Malachi's prophecy is that of the refiner's fire. This metaphor speaks of purification, where impurities are burned away, and only the purest gold remains. This is not a gentle process. It's intense, and it transforms. Malachi uses this imagery to describe God's desire to purify his people. For men, this represents the process of self-improvement and growth. Strength, both physical and spiritual, is often forged in hardship and challenge. The refiner's fire is a reminder that true masculinity involves enduring trials, learning from them, and emerging stronger and purer. It's about embracing challenges, not avoiding them, and allowing those experiences to shape a man into someone who is more just, more faithful, and more courageous. The coming of the messenger, a foreshadowing of John the Baptist. Malachi's prophecy culminates in a forward-looking message of hope, predicting the coming of another messenger who would prepare the way for the Lord. This prophecy is widely understood as pointing to John the Baptist, who would herald the coming of Jesus Christ. In this sense, Malachi is not only the last prophet of the Old Testament, but also a bridge to the New Testament, connecting the Old Covenant with the New. For men, this is a reminder that every action, every decision, and every challenge faced today has a future impact. Malachi's life shows that men should always be forward-thinking, preparing not just for their own future, but for the legacy they will leave behind. Whether it's in their families, careers, or communities, men are called to be pioneers, preparing the way for others to follow. The fear of the Lord, a foundation of masculine strength. At the core of Malachi's message is a reverence for God, what the Bible refers to as the fear of the Lord. This isn't fear in the sense of terror, but in the sense of awe, respect, and obedience. Malachi reminds men that true strength comes from a life aligned with God's will. This is the foundation of masculinity as portrayed in the Bible. Men who fear God are men who stand firm in their values, live with purpose, and lead with integrity, judgment, and reward. Accountability in all things. Malachi's prophecy doesn't just offer rebuke, it offers a promise. He speaks of a coming day when those who fear the Lord will be remembered, and they will be his treasured possession. On the flip side, those who continue in their rebellion and apathy will face judgment. This is a message of accountability that transcends time. Men today, just like in Malachi's time, must recognize that their actions have consequences, both in this life and in the next. Malachi's legacy, a call to stand strong. Though the details of Malachi's life remain largely unknown, his legacy is one of strength, courage, and conviction. He stood against a complacent society and called out its flaws with unflinching honesty. For men today, Malachi serves as an enduring symbol of what it means to live with purpose, integrity, and strength. His message calls men to not just believe but to act, to stand firm in their convictions, and to always strive for righteousness. In the end, Malachi's life and message reflect the essence of biblical masculinity, a commitment to truth, justice, faithfulness, and strength. His words may have been spoken thousands of years ago, but they resonate deeply with men today who seek to live lives of purpose and integrity. And that wraps up our deep dive into the life and legacy of Malachi, the prophet who stood tall against corruption and apathy, embodying the true strength of conviction. If this message of courage, integrity, and purpose resonates with you, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more future videos. Stay motivated, stay strong, and keep striving for greatness. Until next time, take care and keep pushing forward.